And on today's episode, from the files of AsianDate.com.
We are now live online.
Hopefully not on AsianDate.com, though.
You wish.
I'm sure they're watching.
Okay, let's. Everybody got their Audacity up?
Yep.
Go ahead and
yes.
hit record. Let me know.
Yes,
when
I do.
you're
Yes, I
recording.
do.
I am recording.
Sweet.
Should I knock my beer over when we clap?
Please do.
Please do.
All right, ready to go?
Yep.
Let's go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Close enough. Was that actually a clap there, Gabe?
Fuck it.
Because I can't
bit.
edit. I can't edit without it. So let's try it again.
It was a bit.
Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, I think Matt once or twice missed his clap or wasn't running or something.
went
And
like
that was a
this.
fucking bitch to try to line up. So
I edged it.
you were edging? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like edge play? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's like prairie dogging, but different.
Except like not at all.
Yeah, you're putting stuff in.
Are you
It's
gopher
hell.
holing it? Are you? What are you doing over there? Are
What'd you call
are
it?
you mole digging? I'm making shit up.
Say I get a
don't know.
prostate exam early.
All right, sweet.
Hello there, buddy.
Squirrely.
All right, we got about 2 minutes before we are set to have people join us if they want to, which I don't think they're. Is everybody on the chat?
No.
The chat.
I don't
That's
know
some
if
type
you
of
got-
new drug.
I don't know if you got room for the chat, but here is the YouTube chat.
Are you on
If
the
you
chat?
need it, I'm on the chat.
Confirm.
So if you got room for it,
I'm not.
there you have it.
Definitely not.
Yeah, you're definitely not. Just be like, not it. It all started when I was 3. Okay. TMI, Sam. TMI. Tiamat.
Tiamat. Good name for a character. I wonder if anybody's thought of it.
I highly doubt it. All right.
Typey, podcasters.
If I put it in the chat, then it's for real.
And then people really do love us.
Oh, I guess, it'd be funny. I guess, I guess if somebody's already looking at this broadcast, then they would know where the chat is, so I wouldn't have to do that.
It'd be on the right-hand side if it's not full screen.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm officially just gonna watch the gameplay that's being delayed late instead of playing the game.
Oh, no. Try listening to it while you're still listening to us, and it'll seriously mess you up.
I couldn't. I had to shut it off last time. I'm like,
No, that's definitely not.
Okay. I unmuted it for half a second and my ears started bleeding.
All right, here we go. 8 o'clock on the dot. Let's roll. Welcome to episode 27 of the Lovecraft Tapes, an actual play Call of Cthulhu 7th edition RPG podcast using Roll20.net. I am your keeper of arcane lore, Jeremy Boomstick Johnson. Your investigators of the unknown are Brian Johnson as Samantha Blaine,
it's nice and warm in my car.
Matt Zealish as Dan Williams,
I swear to God, people keep putting boxes behind me when I'm not looking.
and Gabe DeScenzo as Roy Arroyo.
Investigating is the only thing I like better than church and a cigarette.
All right. In that order, right?
Yeah.
Church and then a cigarette, not before.
No, church in the cigarette.
Oh, okay. So you just stuffed Jesus in there.
He said. Yep.
Get in there, buddy. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? What are we eating and drinking?
I am drinking an Enjoy by my last one.
Wait a
I
minute.
saved it for tonight.
It's supposed to be 420. What's
Yep.
it? Oh, never mind.
426.
PM.
Sponsor us,
Don't give away the
Tap Water.
secrets. And,
Oh, nice beat,
Matt's
dude.
drinking snot, evidently.
I'm drinking allergies because those are fun.
I'm drinking sparkling water tonight. I had some coffee, though, earlier.
Oh, aren't you fancy pants?
I need a lift, I need to mainline that shit.
I think you can download their app.
What, coffee?
A Lyft.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Hot Coffee, the mod for GTA.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah, download that too. Okay. All right, well, before we continue along, we do need to take a quick commercial break. And we're back.
Well, it was all right.
We need better sponsors.
What, you didn't like the gerbils? I thought that was a pretty good one.
Well,
I prefer hamsters.
They're very
I
good.
prefer hamsters.
As George says, they're great pets. All right. So,
Society of America.
gerbils, they're not allergic to duct tape anymore. All right. So we're going to take a quick look at a new segment that we've been doing for one episode called Cthulhu Rules, in which we're going to review some rules from the Keeper's Handbook. And tonight we're going to be talking about wounds. This is on page 119 to 120, which you guys do not have because you're lowly players.
Not wombs. That's different.
Yes, wounds.
Damn,
would be
I was looking
a
forward
good
to
Our
this.
word.
wounds because we did it wrong.
Roll for wombs.
Okay.
I guess Dan might have to do that occasionally, but what are you gonna do? All right, so wounds. Let's talk about taking some damage. There are two kinds of damage, essentially. One is called regular damage, and that's anytime that less than half of your max hit points are reduced in a single attack. So let's say, how many hit points do you have, Dan?
13.
13. So less than half would be 6. Okay? So if you took less than 6 points of damage, someone shot you and grazed your arm or whatever, then that's just called regular damage. And you could be reduced down to 0 hit points and simply be unconscious. You cannot slip past 0, and you do not automatically die. Now, that doesn't preclude someone coming up with a shovel or an axe and smashing you on the head after you're unconscious. But that is, if someone were to shoot you and leave you in the alley to bleed out, and it was just a regular damage, not anything more than that, you wouldn't necessarily die. Okay? The next type of damage is called a major wound, and of course that is equal to or more than half of your max hit points in a single attack. Now,
Where is that in relation to Sergeant Wound and Colonel Wound?
I'm trying to think. I think major would be under that, wouldn't it? Definitely under Colonel. Definitely
I've seen
Colonel.
it both ways.
Yeah, maybe under
So
Sergeant
it's
as
one
well.
above Private Wound.
So if you're ever dealt a major wound, you'll see on your character sheets that there should be a little box that you check to indicate that you have taken a major wound. It's probably up towards your hit points. And if this is ticked and you have taken a major wound, then you immediately fall prone. So if you took damage that was equal to or more than half of your max hit points, you immediately fall to the ground.
Ooh.
And unless first aid is administered to you, when you are reduced to 0, you will die.
Whoa.
So in this case, you could bleed out if someone did give you a nice shot to the head in the alley and left you to bleed out, and it was a major wound, then of course that would result in death. You can roll.
That could only happen in an alley.
Only in an alley. Yep. So
It's weird rules.
if you're on
Stay away from alleys, guys.
if you're on some far-flung planet where everything is a trapezoidal creature coming at you with no logical angles, then no, you wouldn't die
Ever.
ever.
What is an illogical angle? I just want to.
Well, just read a little bit of Lovecraft, and you might know.
Mm-hmm.
You might
There's
know
an
about
illogical angle.
this. Yes.
He's saying you suck and they're uncommitted.
Oh,
In addition,
guess I'm out of here, guys.
in addition to all of that fun stuff where you tick the major wound box and fall prone, you do need to make a con roll to avoid becoming unconscious. So keep that in mind as we go forward. If you take massive damage, then that's
Is this some sort of
pretty much it.
foreshadowing?
I know.
No, I'm just putting it out there.
It's almost 5 shadowing.
This is just to sort of brush up on rules. No, not necessarily in relation to what's actually going to happen tonight.
Especially to you, Sam.
Exactly. Especially to you. You particularly, Sam. It obviously, if any single attack exceeds your max hit points, you are immediately dead. So 13 hit points, a creature from beyond bites your head off, yeah, you're dead. So
That would happen.
all right. Any questions about that? Cthulhu rules?
No, that makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay. Next time we'll probably talk about healing in a major way. So next
Yeah, don't talk about healing now when we're
Nope.
going into it. We're
I
all
only
going to
want
die.
you to die. Yep.
We'll learn about that later.
Right.
Paper cuts.
I bled to death. I'm at 0 unconscious.
A death by paper cuts. All right.
Who
So
put this in this pool of lemon juice?
Hey, if life gives you lemons.
the salty lemon juice.
Salted lemon juice. Battery acid. What?
It's the worst. All right, our next segment is called Letters from Beyond, and this is basically just to let everyone know how they can get in touch with us. So if you would like to get in touch with us for any reason, I think Twitter is probably the best way. You can contact me at Lovecraft Tapes. Also at lovecrafttapes.com, there are some other links to social media. And so we encourage you to just reach out, ask us any questions about the adventure, our characters, provide some feedback if you've got some, and of course give me some advice how I should be treating these folks. If there's any little tricks that the investigators need to encounter, maybe we'll incorporate them into the plot. So we really encourage you to do that. I did want to give a couple shout outs here to on Facebook, on our Facebook page. Benjamin D reached out to us and let us know that he preferred our show, to other Real Play podcasts.
Oh,
so
nice.
That was very nice. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Benjamin.
Thanks
D.
a lot.
On Twitter, their user at EWMC Elffreshmy, kind of butchered that. He declared that Deaf Dan is the best Dan.
What?
And I tend to agree with that. So that was very nice.
That was good.
Also on Twitter, I'd like to give special thanks to at DM_Modoc for being our most loyal and vocal listener. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And there is a potential that we may have that particular gentleman on as a guest NPC at some point.
Oh, cool.
So I've already pitched that out to him, and he seemed to like the idea. So it could be fun to bring on someone as a guest star.
That would be cool.
All right, so let's get on with episode 27. Previously on the Lovecraft tapes. Roy freaks out after witnessing the supernaturally animated photo of the mysterious tome, My Life, but Dan keeps his cool and gets some advice from Evie, the head librarian at Arkham Library. While Googling the book's title, the investigators uncover a mention of it online, within disturbing entries from the blog of Emily Shoemaker. Samantha calls a car service to take her back home after dinner, but not before getting advice from Caitlin to ask Chris about which estate sale gave them the strange book. Overnight, Roy experiences nightmares about My Life. He shakes it off and goes screen door shopping with Bugsy before meeting up with the others. Dan shares the blog with Samantha, where they discover the name of George Portman, a possible previous owner of the tome. They split up to investigate further. Always a good idea to split up. Samantha goes to the bookstore, where Chris divulges the book was acquired in an estate sale run by Phyllis Gagnon. Run by Phyllis Gagney at Arkham Independent Realty. At the police station, Roy and Dan bump into Caitlin bailing her husband out of jail. Dan spends many hours digging through old police files for any mention of George or Stuart Portman, while Roy heads to the Arkham Public Library, where he happens upon an old newspaper article about Stuart Portman being acquitted of rape.
Ooh.
And now we'll continue. Roy, Just as you finish reading the strange account of Stuart Portman's 1933 acquittal of rape and are preparing to search for George Portman, an old, gnarled hand clamps on your shoulder.
Oh, damn. You need a manicure. What's happening? I don't want to turn around. Who are you?
And you hear a voice, a very familiar voice behind you, even as the gnarled old hand on your shoulder reminds you of the dream you had last night.
Petunia?
And then you hear Petunia. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Thanks for
Roy,
having down.
imagine running into you here.
Yeah. I mean, I invited you like 4 times, but I guess I don't really have your number, so I was just kind of guessing. But thanks for coming down.
Well, no problem. I'm usually here on Sundays looking at old issues of Sunset Living.
Check this out. Check this out. It's rape charges.
What? Oh, Stuart Portman. Why is that name ring a bell?
Because, Portmans.
Yeah, they've been around town for a long time. I haven't.
That's what I'm saying.
I wonder, Yeah, didn't he have some sort of son was in trouble?
Oh, yeah. Murderer, etc. We've been looking into Davies. Remember we were asking about him.
Oh, yeah,
And,
Ryan, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can trust you. I know this. So I'm going to tell you. We got this book, and I'm pretty sure this is the root of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's called My Life. And
never heard of it.
like, I know, neither had we, but it's been giving me nightmares. It's been opening by itself. It's been altering pictures into videos.
Oh, I see.
We think.
Okay, well, I probably have to get back to my magazines now. It was really good to bump into you.
Good to see you too, man. We should get dinner sometime.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll call you.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Well, good.
See you, man.
Good luck. And
You're gonna love my friend Bugsy if you happen to meet him.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll trust you. I'll see your friend Bugsy, and he makes air quotes, and then he backs off hurriedly, kind of looking worriedly over his shoulder, clearly kind of
Bye,
freaked out.
Petunia.
Floats out of the room. Excuse me, miss.
So Petunia mentions a son that got in trouble, and that sort of jogs your memory that there was a mention of George Portman on the blog as well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do some more research on him.
Okay. So what I'm going to need from you at this point is a series of library use roles. And we have, let me count here. I believe I have 6 articles. 6 roles is what I need from you.
Okay.
And let's do them slowly so that I can divulge each as you either fail or succeed. So go ahead and do the first one.
I needed a 60 and I got a 2.
Holy cow.
So that's an extreme. You should give them all to me now.
Extreme.
Hey, and do you guys notice?
Yeah.
As an
The
aside,
plus-
it looks like the rolls are condensed.
Yeah,
Simplified.
I saw that. It doesn't have the +1, +2, -1,
That is
-2.
excellent. I'm so happy.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to share a particular handout with you. I just need to find out what that is. This will be handout number 8.
You should come to our new church.
Right.
The Church of the Night.
This is called. This right there. And Roy, you get to read this, of course. I know you love to do that. So.
I've been practicing.
Good.
And I've been my reading. I totally can't find it.
All players' journals. There we go. So I've gone ahead and shared that with everybody, and you go ahead and read that out loud.
Is it Englishman and Herod's great uncle's home?
Yep.
Okay. Although the first English settlers in Arkham arrived on the Mayflower over 350 years ago, our good city continues to beckon newcomers from the mother country to our shores. Such a newcomer is George Portman, who arrived here last month. Mr. Portman, originally from Bradford, England, has transferred his residence to Arkham's Portman House on West Pickman Street. The residence, once the home of the influential Arkhamite Stuart Portman, sat abandoned for many years until he was recently rediscovered by Mr. George Portman as a part of his inheritance. I've been to the United States several times in the past, mostly on business, and find it pace suits me. I look forward to fixing up my great-uncle's old place and making it my home. Welcome to Arkham and America, Mr. Portman.
All right, very good.
Okay.
Go ahead and take a roll for your second one.
Number 2. I needed a 60, and I got a 20.
Wow. So, Roy, you're kicking ass here. So, I'm going to go ahead and
Who's
share.
the best at library use?
The killer is.
And this is quite a long one, so I'll go ahead and read this one for you, if you don't mind. Let me go ahead and share that out to you. Bink. Should be in your thing, and you can read along if you like. This is dated approximately a year after the previous article that you found. Okay. It's called Local Home, a Museum of Literary Treasures. Local homeowner George Portman, who inherited his grand-uncle's estate a year ago, is discovering a hoard of literary treasures in his West Pickman Street home. My great-uncle Stuart collected rare and wonderful books from all around the world, declares current resident George Portman. I've been fixing up the house for almost a year now, and the books left behind by my great-uncle are remarkable treasures. Portman pulled 2 books from a nearby shelf as evidence. See this? A first edition Washington Irving. And this, a child's prayer book bound in deerskin. It was printed by the firm of Barker in London in 1618 and likely came over on the Mayflower. These 2 treasures are but a few acquired by the late Stuart Portman, whose book collection became one of the first private libraries on the North Shore. Finest private libraries on the North Shore. George Portman has taken it upon himself to organize and assess his ancestors' literary trove. Despite all these wonderful published works, declares Portman, my favorite book is this. Portman holds up a large bound book with the words "My Life" etched in silver on its cover. No, it's not Mein Kampf, jokes Portman. In fact, it's my great-uncle's diary. I've just discovered it and look forward to reading it. When asked what he'll do with all the other fine books in his home, Portman remains undecided. I'd like to read a few of them, of course. Perhaps someday I'll donate them to the local library or university. No doubt Mr. Portman's words will stir interest at both Arkham Public Library and at Miskatonic's Orne Library. In the meantime, we hope Mr. Portman enjoys his great-uncle's diary and the continued refurbishment of his West Pickman Street home. All right.
And I'm hitting you with a library use.
Hit me, baby.
One more time.
I needed a 60 and I got a 22.
Holy crap, you are on a friggin' roll. So this will be handout number 10, and Matt, why don't you read this puppy as I...
Love puppies.
It's My Life. Is that like that No Doubt song?
It's my life.
Oh boy.
It's Bon Jovi.
Oh, you were
There
close
you
though.
go. It's called...
There's a lot of songs
Rape
called
and
It's
Murder
My
Dog.
Life.
That's it.
Shocking news today of a weekend rape and murder at Miskatonic University undergraduate Rhonda Jackman, a junior at university, was found in the early morning hours on Sunday at the home of Arkham resident George Portman. Jackman had been found drugged with ketamine hydrochloride, a popular date rape drug, and was pronounced dead of asphyxiation at the Miskatonic University Medical Center. Medical examination revealed that she had been subjected to repeated sexual assault while under the influence of the date rape drug. Arkham resident George Portman of 299 West Pickman Street has been arrested, charged with sexual assault and murder. It is a very sad, disturbing event, reports Arkham Chief of Police Andrew Reagan. We're pretty confident we've got this assailant, but we wish we could have prevented this from happening. Miskatonic University President Jane Harrington states, "We take a very protective interest in the well-being of our student body. For something like this to happen is just terrible. No young person should ever be subject to such treatment. Our sincerest condolences go out to all the friends, family, and schoolmates of Rhonda. President Harrington says that grief counselors will be on hand throughout the upcoming weeks to help students and others cope with this tragic ordeal.
Very nice. So this particular handout, Roy, is this article is dated approximately 6 months after the previous one. Okay?
Man, I'm noticing a pattern. We got like 6 months to worry about this case. We're good.
Hey, were there any dates on those? Let me look back. I don't think there were.
All right, slap me with another one.
Nope.
I need a 60. I got a 4.
Jeez.
All right, Brian, you get this one.
What?
It's very short. I know how much you love it. All right.
Why did I need an extreme rule then?
I don't know. You're awesome, though. Either way. All right, go ahead.
No one is ever allowed to use the library but Roy.
All right. There you go. And if I click show to players, does that show it to everybody?
Yep.
Okay. There you go. And this is entitled Portman Pleads Insanity in Murder Trial.
You just read the whole article.
Yeah, I read it. Oh, out loud. Accused rapist and murderer George Portman is set to enter an insanity plea this week at Salem District Court, claiming that the spirit of a deceased relative motivated him to commit rape and murder. Readers will recall that Portman allegedly kidnapped, drugged, raped, and murdered Miskatonic University undergraduate Rhonda Jackman 8 months ago.
All right.
Rhonda Jack Links.
I'm trying to keep up with all this stuff in the wiki.
I know.
Good luck.
Yeah, I think I have most of it.
All
Let me
right.
know if I missed anything.
Go ahead and
guys.
do the next one. We have.
We
three
don't
more.
have any.
Oh, that one failed. So that'll be
I'm
one
so
that
useless
maybe.
now.
Let's keep in mind number 12 is could be Matt or Dan rather. All right, get it, Dan rather. Go ahead and give me another one.
It's a great name for a character. I wonder if anyone has thought of that.
Ooh,
The 2 fails. I feel useless now. I wish I would have started with the 2 fails.
Push
okay.
the roll.
So I will say. So you rolled a 62 and you needed a 60.
You could use your luck.
You could
Yeah,
use
you could
2
burn
points
2
of
luck
luck
points.
if you wanted to. That lowers your luck permanently.
Is Matt allowed to roll for them?
Well, he
Yes.
will. He is going to be rolling for these as well. He
But
just
my
does
library
not-
uses 20.
Yeah, he doesn't have a very good roll. So.
I'll use 2 luck, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and mark on your character sheet. Just reduce that by 2.
Yeah.
Lucky. And we'll go ahead and give this out back to you so you can read it. So this will be handout 13. And you're not quite sure when this is dated,
Got a lot of handouts here.
but it might
If I'm
be.
burning luck, I better know when it was dated.
Do any of these have dates on them? I'm trying to see.
Well, no, not really.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to put it in a time period.
yeah, they're all successive, and you can kind of tell from the original one that it's like I guess
Okay.
the 50s maybe. Yeah, 50s.
That's what I was thinking.
The original rape charges on Stuart Portman were from November 13th,
33.
1933 is when he was acquitted.
Okay, cool.
And this is now you're into George Portman's articles.
I'm assuming the blog entries are not part of that chronological succession.
Right. And so Stuart Portman was 1933 acquitted of rape. And then these new articles concerning George Portman are make mention of his great granduncle had died.
Was it his grand? I thought it was just his great uncle.
It could be great uncle too. Yeah, whatever it says there.
Whatever, he's awesome. We get it.
Yeah.
It was a great uncle.
So, and actually, this isn't too far in the past. It's not the 50s. It's actually much sooner. But the English.
It says that it had been sitting abandoned for years.
Yeah.
Many years, actually.
And so it says the Mayflower over 350 years ago. So if the Mayflower was 16. Anybody know?
20 something.
1620, so just 1970, 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Seems about right. So, okay. All right, gonna go ahead and give you the next one here. And this one is entitled Portman Sentenced to Life Without Parole. And
Okay.
let me see if I can. Okay. Show to everyone. How's that?
Oh wow, pops right up.
And just read the non highlighted portion.
Judge Kathleen Arkham today sentenced convicted rapist and murderer George Portman of Arkham to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Portman's attorneys promised to appeal Portman's case. Portman is to be transferred to MCI Cedar Junction Penitentiary in Walpole, Massachusetts.
And then there are several further articles detailing failed appeals by Portman's attorneys. And as the legal proceedings bled away, Portman's sizable financial portfolio. The final article in the Arkham Advertiser lists an estate sale at 299 West Pickman Street, Arkham. Okay. And then I will need one final roll from you, Roy. Oh, that is a success. So you get the final article. So essentially there was one article that you did not unearth. And
You better get it, boy.
right.
My library use is 20. If you think I'm getting jack out of this, you are severely going to be disappointed.
If you're going to have 6 rolls, I think you can manage one.
All right. And Brian, you can read this one.
Thanks.
It's 72 pages. I'm kidding. All right. It's very short, and the title of this is Estate Sale Today at 299 West Pickman Street in Arkham.
That's the information I need.
And there you go.
Books, furnishings, quality, home electronics, and more tomorrow. Only $2.99 West Pickman Street, Arkham, 10 a.m. to 4. All items will be sold at pennies on the dollar.
I want whoever did that to do commercials for us.
Who did that? That was pretty good.
Who did it?
I have no idea.
Who did it? Okay, so Roy, that is all of the articles that you find. Let me know what your next course of action is before we switch over to the other two.
I will go home. I will shoot Dan a text, seeing what he's doing, and make plans to meet up whenever he finishes.
Okay.
Gross.
Sounds like a plan. All right, let's go ahead and go to Samantha.
Yes.
Samantha.
I'm down here. Hi.
Way down there. Back at home, you make preparations for dinner. Dan won't be home for a few hours yet, but you want to surprise him with a roast chicken, carrots, and turnips soaking up the fat from the bottom of the pan.
I was going to order pizza.
Can we just do the pizza?
Yeah, I thought Samantha doesn't cook.
Well,
I
that's
don't,
why it's
but
a
just
surprise. All right. You cut up the vegetables. The knife on the cutting board goes thump, thump, thump. When you pause for
there goes my finger.
When you pause for a moment, the thump, thump, thump continues. The sound is coming from somewhere else in the house, possibly the study.
Is it the phone?
No, there's some homeless dude jacking off that broke in earlier.
Don't stop. I'm almost there. I love carrots.
Let us turn up and pee.
Can you say soak up the fat again?
Roy has to die. This is the perfect entrance.
Okay, I am going to investigate with the knife in hand.
Oh, okay. So tell me what you do.
Investigate with the knife in hand. Where did I hear it come from?
I said possibly the study.
Okay. I am going to walk up to the study, assuming the door is closed.
It's actually partially open.
Could we say it's ajar?
It is ajar.
Oh, it's
I
not.
thought
It's
it was a door. Oh.
Who's on first?
Yeah, the door.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to
Is it a
step
screen
up
door?
to the door and put my ear towards the opening and listen quietly, holding my breath.
You hear thump, thump, thump.
Really slowly going at it.
Not the Beastie Boys. I'm going to push the door open quickly and turn on the light if it's not already on.
It is not on because it's daytime and
Okay. The study, though.
Yeah.
Blinds
sure.
could be down.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna do it.
You push open the door and flip on the light, and you see, as soon as you push on the door, the thumping stops.
In mid-thump.
In mid-thump. And you flip on the light, and the first thing that you see is the book.
Dancing.
Standing upright on the desk. And in the same glance, you can see that the safe is still closed.
What the fudge crackers? I'm going to grab the handle to the study door and pull it shut as fast as I can, grab my shit, and get outside.
Okay, as soon as you close the door, you hear thump, thump.
Yeah, I'm not listening.
Thump,
Ah,
thump.
Danny, it's not the time. I'm going to grab my purse and still clutching the knife, I'm going to go out, get my car, and call Dan as I'm pulling out of the driveway.
Okay. All right, let's switch over to Dan. Dan, you shiver in the dusty, cool confines of the police basement as you flip through thick manila folders, searching for any mention of the name Portman. Please roll library use once.
And please win it. Please win it.
wasn't it? I think it wasn't a +1 for spending the maximum amount of time I could down there.
Well, it
I
was
thought
essentially it was going to be computer use or
Right.
law were the two, both of which I believe were 5 for you, and as such, I was going to give you a +1 for each hour as a bonus. But I think with your if you want to use library use instead, you have a 20. So I don't think I should give you any more bonus for that.
Okay.
You should let him roll 6 times.
Roll 6 times.
Yeah, he could get
Yeah, I
up the
can
same.
shoot for library, but again,
I think
nothing
for
I
the
have is
purpose of the story, I think 1 roll will be sufficient.
okay.
That's what you get for thinking.
So I spent what 5? When I say 5 hours down there.
5 hours. Yep.
Okay, so it'd either be 10 for a law, or I can just do 20 for computer
Yeah,
use.
I'd
I think 10 for
the
law.
20 would be fine. Oh, sorry,
I
buddy.
needed a 20. I rolled a 41.
Spend the luck.
So,
Yeah.
but
I'm gonna push that.
we will say, just
I'm
for the
not.
sake
I'm not
of,
gonna
we will say,
Sam, leave him.
just for the sake of consistency, that you probably did find at least a couple of the ones that Roy did. So, there'll be some duplication of information there. And in
Good
the end,
job,
it
nerd.
kind of didn't matter, but it's not terrible. So.
Okay.
So what would you like to do, Dan, after your 5 hours starts to wind down and your search has been kind of fruitless?
It didn't take me 5 hours to find the same things that you found.
Shut up.
Because you have a 60, man. Jeez.
That's good.
That's pretty awesome.
I was a soldier in the war. Libraries weren't very abundant in the deserts of Iraq, surprisingly.
Surprise, mother.
Well, I'm going to, if I did find anything useful, I'm going to photocopy it, grab an empty manila envelope, stick everything I might have found in there, bundle it up, put it in my bag, and climb the stairs back up to the main floor of the police department and get ready to depart.
All right, so you go over to a really old, dusty photocopier that's in the basement and make like 3 copies of things that you found.
It's a ditto machine.
A ditto. It's a mimeograph.
Just hand this to an old woman. Can you copy this for me? Thanks.
And it, as
Pick it up,
you
Phyllis. I have places to be.
as you make these copies, you're quite aware of the light streaming out from underneath the copy machine cover because it is pretty dim down here in the stacks. And you collect your couple copies and put the boxes back and stuff your envelope, your manila folder with the materials that you found. And just as you're putting the materials in your folder, you hear a scuttling sound somewhere.
Who let the seagulls in?
Sound.
Can I pinpoint where the sound is coming from? Like, is it?
You have a laser.
Pew!
Laser.
I'm sorry, that takes library use.
Oh,
Oh.
roll for laser.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a roll? Just roll a D100, please.
A D1. Okay. Dice roller. Dun 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 dun. Roll 1D100. 27.
Okay. So you look up at where you think the scuttling is coming from, towards some stacks off to your right, and it's a couple rows of more boxes and manila folders, old cold case files. In that particular stack aisle appears to be even less lit than the rest of the basement.
AF.
I'm going to take a hot second just to quickly walk down the aisle, just a couple of steps to see if I can tell if I'm getting closer to the noise.
Okay. So you take a couple steps into the dimly lit stack aisle, and you think you see a shadow sort of scuttle at the far end against where the wall is, where the aisle ends, let's say about 30 feet down. You see something, looks like a shadow scuttling away to the right, close to the floor.
I'm going to pull out my phone, turn on the flashlight function, and start walking down the aisle, saying, "Hey, is anyone else down here?"
Why don't you go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll?
Oh, I heard this. I thought it was sanity.
I needed a 48 and I rolled a 41.
Then you do absolutely notice that your phone is dead. It has no cell signal, but it can be used for light.
Okay.
He spotted his phone.
Well, he was only turning it on for the light, so
Right.
he didn't necessarily look to see if he actually had cell service. But I gave it to him since he got a spot hidden roll.
Okay, so I'm going to keep heading down that aisle towards where I saw the shadow.
Okay. You walk down towards the end of the row and reach the end of the row. The scuttling sound has stopped.
You better fight for your right to party, man.
I'm going to just quickly let you look off to the left and look off to the right.
Okay.
Make sure there's nothing that stands out at the moment, nothing odd.
Okay, go ahead and give me a D100 roll, please.
Oh, again, with the D100s. 54.
Okay. You look left and right and see no shadow, and you do not hear any kind of scuttling sounds anymore.
Okay. Pause for a second. Yeah, I'm seeing things. I've been down here way too long, and I'm going to tuck my phone away and turn back around and start heading for the stairs back up to the main floor.
Okay, so you put your phone away, turn back around to walk back up the dimly lit aisle stacks, and as you get maybe 2 or 3 steps, you hear a familiar sound coming at the far end where the copy machine is, and it sounds like somebody making copies.
I'm going to quickly head back down the aisle and spin to try and see if I can catch someone at the copier.
So you go to the end of the aisle, and There's a little clearing right there with some low desks where you were looking through the manila folders, and the dusty mimeograph machine was sitting there. And just as you reach the end of the aisle, you see the light dim in the copy machine, and there's no one standing in the area.
I'm gonna go up and check the tray to see if there's anything that has been copied. If there's anything sitting in the out tray, or whatever you want to
There
call
is
it.
one page that is face down.
I'm going to pick it up and read it.
Okay, you pick it up, flip it up towards you, and you can see quite clearly that it is a photocopy of the front of the My Life book.
I'm going to quickly crumple it into a ball and then just kind of chuck it as far away from me as I can get down one of the aisles.
Okay, you do so, and you hear it hit the ground off in the darkness, and then you hear a scuttling sound, and you can quite clearly hear the crumpled up ball being batted around on the floor.
Got a hermit crab infestation.
Damn
Under
hermit
the
crabs!
sea.
Not again! I'm just going to ignore that noise, and I'm going to head back up to the top, or back up to the first floor, I guess.
All right, go ahead and roll me a D100.
Your life is over. Now it's my life.
53.
Oh, okay, that's pretty close to the same one. All right, so you start striding back towards the staircase, and you turn the corner to go up, and there is no stairs there.
Just a book.
Fuck.
That's my life, and it's huge.
It just appears to be the end of a stack. You must have gotten turned around.
Okay, I'm going to go turn back around and try and find my way back to the copier, because I know I can trace my way to the steps from that copy machine.
Okay. You do hear the scuttling noise off to your right, sort of keeping pace with you as you walk back towards the copy machine.
If anyone is out there, this really isn't funny. I swear to God, Ashton Kutcher, if you're going to jump out and tell me I've been punked, I'm going to punch you.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me a D100?
That's to see if you land your punch on Ashton Kutcher.
88.
Okay. So you arrive back at the copy machine, and the lights start flickering above.
Santa? Damn dyslexia. Satan?
Bugsy must be having the weekly square dancing class upstairs.
I'm there.
You're at Bugsy's square dancing class?
With his
You
screen.
gotta learn. Girls won't like you if you don't know how to square dance.
Shit.
Great. So now I have to tell someone they have a hermit crab infestation and that I need new light bulbs for the basement. Okay. I'm going to take a second, get my bearings, point myself towards where I know the stairs are, and start walking in that direction, because there has to be a way out of here.
Okay, you take a few steps, and the scuttling appears to be right behind you.
I'm going to stop for a second and then rapidly spin around and swing my foot out to try and kick anything that may be walking behind me.
You spin around, and there is nothing in behind you. And the lights start flickering violently above you.
Earthquake?
Whose dog is that?
I apologize. There's not a lot I can do about it.
Go kick him. Joking. All right, so Dan, just as you look up towards the lights and expect them to turn off automatically, or at least blow out, you feel someone breathing on the back of your neck.
Once again, I'm going to hand out, spin back around, and just try and hit anyone who may be trying to creep behind me.
Okay.
It was the Badabook.
Baba dog, Baba. You spin around and narrowly Bugsy ducks and says, "Oh, Dad, what are you doing?"
Oh, whoa, sorry, man. I guess I've been down here for too long. Things are starting to get to me. You might have some sort of an infestation down here. I've been hearing scuttling and scurry noises, just so you know.
What are you talking about? We got the rat catcher coming around once a month.
Well, I think you might have missed someone last time he was here. Also, you might want to call an electrician. The lights down here seem to be really prone to violent flickering.
And as soon as you say that, they stabilize and become nice and bright. And he looks up, he's like, yeah, I think maybe you'd spend a little bit too much time down here, Danny.
Yeah, probably.
Are you about done? Yeah, it's just about dinner time. I'm trying to get...
I'm done for the night.
All right. Well, come on up when you're ready.
You know what? I'm just going to follow you up. I'm done here.
Okay.
I'm going to walk behind him just to make sure that I don't lose the staircase again.
Okay. Yep. You very easily find it where you knew it always was. And you follow him up. And as soon as you get to the top of the stairs, your phone vibrates a couple times. And you see you have a text from Roy. And I can't remember if she said text or voice call.
I think Sam called me. Roy is the one who sent the text.
Gotcha. And a voicemail from Sam. Put it that way.
I'd ask her what the voicemail is, but...
Oh,
this is an audio
Dan,
podcast.
you're so handsome.
Can't see it, but Brian Johnson, the voice of Samantha Lane, is currently MIA.
That's okay. We'll fill in the gaps. So a text from Roy, which presumably says what? Okay.
Oh, like just explaining what info I found and all what have that we should meet up when we get some time, even if it's not today, because I know we all got things going on.
Okay. So that's the text, more or less, the gist of it that you see from Roy.
Okay.
And the voicemail from Sam is kind of broken up, but she sounds like she's disturbed about something and she's kind of panicky.
Cooking's really hard for her, man.
And you can just make out some words because it sounds like there's a lot of static in the voicemail. Words about book, thump, safe, car, knife. And those are the words that you can make out from a bunch of crackly messages. So.
Okay. Knowing that she sounds like she's maybe in trouble, I'm going to hop on my motorcycle and squeal off towards Blaine Manor.
Meanwhile...
And I want to actually, before I hop off and send off, I want to send another text to Roy saying, we should meet up for lunch tomorrow at the manor, and we can go over everything we found.
Okay. Cool. All right. So Dan, you hop on your motorbike, send Roy a quick message to meet up tomorrow for lunch, and you race home. And here's Sam. Welcome back.
Sorry, family emergency.
Okay. So Dan has received a garbled voicemail from Sam, and he is currently racing home on his motorbike to hopefully come to your rescue.
Okay.
So, Dan, take it away.
So I'm going to swing up into the driveway of the house, drop the kickstand, hop off, and run towards the front door.
And Sam, where are you at this point?
I'm driving into town in my car.
Okay, we could remember if you were driving or had just gotten into your car.
I was driving and I left him a voicemail because he didn't pick up.
Okay, so we've said that the voicemail was garbled, and all he could make out was book, safe, thump, knife, and car.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
So and where is Sam heading at this point? Besides,
I was heading
town?
towards the bookstore.
Okay. So we'll say that at the same time that Dan arrives at Blaine Manor, Samantha arrives at Bankrupt Books, which is just closing up because it's getting close to 5. It's actually a little after 5 at this point. On a Sunday after your 5 o'clock.
Right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So Chris is actually locking up as you pull up.
I'm going to flag Chris down.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Blaine. Or Miss Blaine, sorry.
Samantha's perfectly fine. Just call me Samantha.
Samantha.
Hey, do you have time to get a cup of coffee? Some stuff has been going on. I really don't want to be alone right now.
Well, yeah. Actually,
Okay.
I'm just locking up now. So
Okay.
yeah, sure.
That'd be great. Let me try calling Dan one more time, just to let him know where I'm at, okay? And then while you finish locking up, I'll meet you out front.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to try calling Dan again.
All right, why don't you go ahead and give me a luck roll, Samantha.
Samantha? What?
Sam Ant, man.
Luck is right below your hit points. There
I
you
got it, mister. I needed a 55. I got a 91.
So you
I
guys
dropped my phone in a toilet on the side of the street.
Where did that toilet come from?
You dial Dan's number, but it appears to be busy. And it goes straight to voicemail.
Cheating on you.
I leave him another voicemail. Danny, I'm going to get a cup of coffee with Chris from the bookstore. Call me as soon as you get this.
Okay. Dan,
Click.
You arrive at Blaine Manor and see no sign of her car.
I'm going to pull out my phone and try and call her.
Of course you are.
It's the first thing we do, really.
And so you get her voicemail.
Sam, it's me. I'm back at the house. I didn't catch much of your voicemail, but it sounded like you were panicked, so I sped home as quickly as I could. I don't see you here, and your phone went straight to voicemail. So if you get this, either shoot me a text message where you are, or try and call me again. I'll be waiting.
I'll be here.
All right, Dan, what do you do now?
And of course, both of those phone calls lasted long enough that the voicemail pop-up thing didn't happen for them, right?
Well, we'll see. We may have to do another spot hidden here in a minute. But meanwhile, I want to take care of Dan.
I'm going to walk into the house.
Okay. The first thing you notice is that it appears to be kind of hot. And you notice immediately, because you are the cook of the family, that clearly Sam has left the oven preheating.
I'm going to jog into the kitchen and turn the oven off before it burns the house down.
Okay. You do so, and then you guys have a pretty nice oven, so it's probably not going to be... And she only had it preheating to like 400 degrees, so it wasn't too bad. But
Not 750.
But it's been going for a while, and so it is very hot in the kitchen.
I'm going to also open a couple of windows just
Okay.
to see if I can't get some cool air in here.
You do? Very good.
I'm going to... I remembered that she said something about book, so I'm going to head over to the study
Okay.
and see if she was talking about that book.
The first thing you notice is that the door to the study is firmly closed, which is kind of unusual. Usually you leave it open just like a jar.
I thought it was a door.
No, he said you leave it open like a jar.
Like a
Yeah.
jar.
But I
It's
close
like
all
all
my
the food that
jars.
goes bad in the refrigerator because you leave it open.
Right.
Like a jar.
Like a jar.
I'm
So
going
that's
to...
sort of unusual.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to grab the doorknob, click it open, and walk in and flip the lights on.
Okay. I'm trying to remember, did Sam actually turn the lights off? Nope.
No,
so,
she didn't.
So
Okay.
the light is on, which is another odd thing as you as you
That's
notice.
weird.
And
Wasting electricity.
right, exactly. And you walk
have
in,
LED
and everything appears to be in order. It's just that she left the light on.
I'm going to walk over and open the safe just to make sure that the book is still there.
Okay. So you enter the combination of the safe and
2, 3, 4, 5.
right, and open it up, and sure enough, the book is there. But there's something odd about the book.
It's a photocopy.
It's a photocopy. No. It is face down, and you're pretty dang sure that you left it face up.
Face down, ass up.
That's the way we like to read our books. Okay. I'm going to close the safe and relock it.
Okay, and as you do so, and flip the latch to close the safe securely, you start to hear a thump, thump, thump.
It's the homeless guy
Behind you.
jacking off in our house again. I'm going to slowly turn around and see what's making the noise.
All right, we'll cut from there, and let's go back to Samantha. Samantha,
No.
you and Chris retire to a coffee shop and have
Live
some
happily
coffee.
ever after.
Live happily ever after. Why don't you go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll?
Okay. Can do that. You did a 76. I got a 62.
Nice. You see that you've received a voicemail.
Quickly, excuse me, real quick, Chris. Listen to it.
Okay.
But your phone's dead.
And it's obviously Dan. He tells you that he's at the house, and he wants you to call him as soon as possible.
Chris, can you excuse me for just 1 minute? Dan finally got back to me with a voicemail. I'm going to call him real quick and let him know where I'm at and have him meet us if he can.
Sure, that's no problem.
Thanks, Chris.
More the merrier.
You had a mouthful of coffee you had to swallow?
Espresso.
It's so
thank
hot.
you.
All right, I'm going to just step outside of the diner real quick and
Okay.
You can dial your phone, but I don't know why you're standing there making these weird noises. People walk by and there's just this girl on the side of the street going.
So it rings a couple times and then picks up, and you hear
Hello.
thump, thump, thump.
Yeah, wrong
I hang
time to
up
be
really
doing
quick.
this. I know.
And that's where we're going to call this episode.
Son of a bitch.
It's been an hour.
Was he
Wow.
calling me a chump?
Yes.
Chump,
Chump.
chump,
Chump.
Chomp.
We're gonna
I,
get
I think
fought.
that was a pretty good cliffhanger. So you
Yeah,
both,
that's good.
both have to deal with thumps. And unfortunately, Roy's got. Although Roy had most of the action this time around.
He did. Yeah, that was good, though. He did great.
So,
Hey, I
I'm
rolled a
chilling
lot of
with my
D100s,
wife.
okay?
Good job, Roy.
And I still have no
Thank you.
idea if what they did was good or bad.
yeah, just watch out when that T1000 comes after you.
Oh.
All right. So that is going to do it for this episode. How'd you guys like that?
That was good. It's getting really good. I love this.
I agree. I concur.
I love how we can't get away from it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
it's
That's
an
cool.
Interesting.
Honey, we're going to Bermuda.
We can't get away from it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and launch into our next segment, Recommendos for this week. And I'm going to go ahead and start us off this time.
Oh,
Selfish.
As I get rid of my...
shellfish.
Hermit crabs.
Hermit crabs are the best thing.
That's my
I have a hermit
recommendo.
crab drone.
It drops hermit crabs on people.
All right, so
Haha, take that annoying neighbor who lets his dog poop in my yard.
Not his
Hermit
dog.
crabs.
It's not his dog.
dog poop delivered by Amazon drone.
Hashtag sponsor us.
Okay, so my recommendation for this week is a... Do you know what it is?
No?
A movie?
It's a horror movie. You're right.
What?
I am recommending something called The Nights of Terror. But you might recognize it if you were alive in the 80s and saw VHS covers. Burial Ground. And this is a 1981 Italian splatterfest zombie flick. Directed by Andrea Bianchi and starring a whole bunch of people from Italy who I have no idea who they are. And this is a hilarious, so bad it's good, disgusting zombie flick, which is so poorly made, poorly written, poorly acted, terrible special effects that you just can't help but laugh. And they rip off everything from Lucio Fulci's Zombie to, God, just pretty much everything. And even though this is 1981, it almost precludes a lot of the other zombie flicks. But of course, they're Dawn of the Dead, all that stuff, George Romero zombie stuff, which is too much fun. It's got kind of like a leaden pace. It makes absolutely no sense. There's this professor who accidentally unearths some ancient thing that's buried into a tomb, and then he removes it, and then suddenly all these Etruscan zombies are alive and kicking, and for some reason they're wearing a standard Boris Karloff Frankenstein's monster mask, which has been just tricked out a little bit with some gore. But they literally like went down to a costume shop, bought this thing, slapped it on somebody, and said that's a zombie. Oh my God, it's so funny. So you alternately laugh and moan with disgust. It is really kind of stupid. Some of the effects aren't very good. There's one great scene where a lady gets caught in a bear trap, and Brian and I made a movie where his bear trap looked way better than this thing. So. But then conversely, there are some up-close gore scenes where people are being disemboweled and the zombies are chomping on their guts. So it runs the gamut, and there is one incredibly disgusting scene at the end where a zombie child, played by a midget probably, or a little person of some sort, chews off mom's boob.
Oh my God!
It is really like
You just ruined the whole story of the movie.
Those Italians.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not. Trust me, this movie cannot be ruined any more than it already is. But for the 1980s nostalgic schlock factor, I do highly recommend the Knights of Terror, aka Burial Ground.
No longer the knights who say "woo."
Me. All right, Bri, how about you?
I am going to recommend the new Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
I have binged the entire series already. That is 13 movies.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And I'm pretty damn impressed. I'm a purist. I love the original Mystery Science Theaters. I watch them religiously. I've watched them several times over the years. The guys who transferred from there over to Riff Tracks, I watch every live show I can from them and everything they release. They worked pretty damn close with Riff Track guys. They're all working together, which I think makes it extremely successful. And the new host and the robots' new voices aren't exact, but their humor is right on. Mm-hmm. So very pleased. I found myself mocking them at work the other day and realizing that it's already implanted on me. So highly recommend if you haven't checked it out already on Netflix, Mystery Science Theater 3000, The Return, I believe it's called.
Awesome. Matt, how about you?
Well, if you gave people a horror movie to watch, guess what I'm going to give people this week?
An indie game.
A horror movie?
This week I'm going to recommend a game called Factorio. It is a 2D game about building a factory in order to get yourself in a rocket into space. And it may sound really simple, but the game is centered around a really great core mechanic of building your factory, and with that unlocking more complicated machines which allow you to rearrange your factory. And it's a huge tech tree, and there's a lot of like optimization involved in trying new things to try and find, the most efficient or the fastest way to get things done in order to climb this tree to reach your ultimate goal of launching a rocket into space.
Nice. All right, Gaby, how about you, buddy?
What's my favorite thing in the world? It's wrestling, and that's what I'm gonna make some recommendations on. So there's this. It's called Lucha Underground. I believe I've told you about it, Brian.
Yes.
It's the whole premise of it is it's a fighting ring in Mexico that's underground, hidden from the cops, and they fight in like this temple, and it's all They all have like powers that they can use backstage, and it's really campy and over the top. But then the wrestling ability is off the charts. It's a lot more like acrobats than wrestling with all the flips and stuff. And then it's really violent sometimes. But one of the main reasons I'm recommending it is it recently is one of the first wrestling shows in history that has gotten a deal with Netflix.
Oh,
And
cool.
they're airing all their stuff on Netflix, like in seasons. And it just got put up recently. It's called Lucha Underground. Watch it all, even if you don't like wrestling, but you like campy stuff, you'll love the stories. And even if you skip the matches, the stories are worth it for that self.
Nice.
But the matches are also really great. And it's just a company that I've supported since their first show, and it's a lot of fun.
Sweet. Okay, we'll check that out. All right, well, that's going to be it for this episode of the Lovecraft Tapes. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe on iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, or anywhere you download your regular podcasts. If you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. It helps us to get up in the ranks, and we like to get it up.
Zip.
Meanwhile, you can find us at thelovecrafttapes.com with links to all our social media, including Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, and our wiki. You can find me on Twitter at Lovecraft Tapes.
And if anyone feels like Googling old house weird thumping noise, please let me know what the results are on Twitter at TheRealWeirdKid.
And if you want to see retweets from Jeremy, you can find me at the Lovecraft Gabe.
You can also find that at Brian Podcast. But if you want to ask me anything about Mystery Science Theater, we could maybe have an info battle.
Ooh, nice. All right. Well, until next time, thump, thump, thump. Roll for sanity.
Did you call me a chump?
Jump. All right.
Bump.
You're a one-pump